Could you use a little light? Get what I did there? No? Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about this light. This thing is awesome. It's compact, it's very powerful, it's full color RGB. There are bells and whistles to this thing that are well beyond its price point, and that's another thing. It's extremely affordable. Not every case calls for a Godox ES45 key light. This thing is very versatile. You can take it out in the field, you can use it for IRL like I have on this setup here, throw it on top of your DSLR. You can use this in the studio. You can cast colors on the wall behind you. This thing even has a magnet and can stick to like metal objects. It is well worth the price. So let's talk about it. First things first, this is not a sponsored gig. This is not a brand deal kind of thing. Honestly, none of my videos are. Not that I'm opposed to it. I would totally accept that. However, this little gem was actually gifted to me by a gentleman that views my live streams who goes by Mr. Pap. So Mr. Pap, thank you so much for this. I appreciate you and we love you long time. Also, if you're interested in this light, there will be a couple of links in the description below. Feel free to click those. I do get a small commission, not enough to purchase my dream home or even a new bass boat, but I will definitely appreciate you for it. There are several companies that make this miniature RGB LED light. However, this particular company is Neewer. Neewer. As you can see, there's a little LCD screen back here. There's a power button. This will run you through your settings, and you have a mode button here as well. Before we turn this on, one thing I want to point out is that it has a USB-C port for charging, which is pretty cool because most of us are all using USB-C now on our phones. However, this light does come with a USB-C cable. Just remember to carry an external battery if you're out in the field to charge the internal, so that you can be remote. Let's talk about the build of this thing. Now, this is pretty much all plastic. However, don't let that deter you. I've dropped this thing a few times and has handled it like a champ. Now, one of the things that I do love about this build is the fact that you can see here, there are 3 shoe mounts here. And if you're like me and you use a wireless go-to system from Rode for your external mic, you can just mount the receiver on here, plug it right into your phone or camera, and you're importing audio. Or you can mount like a shotgun mic and you have 2 extras here to mount whatever else you may need. There are a few options for mounting this mini LED light. You can use the shoe mount, you can attach to a tripod, maybe a ball head, and there is a magnet in the back of this area here that will allow you to clip to anything metal where you can illuminate the foreground or background to get the shot that you desire. One of the things that I think I'm actually most impressed with about this build is the fact that they have a diffuser cap on top of what is already diffused. So you have double diffusion on this light, which for those that don't know, basically what that will do is that will create a softer, more full light that you're casting upon your shot. Bravo for that. So let's talk functions. We've got a power button here. We got the arrows so we can adjust settings. We got a mode button here. Now, outside of RGB, something to note is that this thing does a full spectrum as far as warm and cool temperatures, also known as Kelvin. Right now we are at 3100 Kelvin, so we got some amber, some yellow in there. And we're gonna go all the way up to 8500 Kelvin, and you can see the temperature of the light's getting much cooler, and we're at 8500. We're only at 27% power. And we are going down to 2500 Kelvin, and you can tell how yellow that light has gotten. Now let's talk mode right quick. You got modes here. You use the power button to select different things. You have hue, you have saturation, and this is basically going to change the color of the light. I mostly use pink because I have a blue on this side, a pink on that side, which casts on my face for the camera in this shot. But let's look at other modes here. We click that. Now we've got the fun modes, right? And we will go into the settings here. We click it, click the power button to adjust the strength or the actual mode. Right now it's pulsing. We have strobe. There's going to be tons of these. RGB strobe, paparazzi, emergency, HL beam, red flash, green flash, blue, slow. Wait, let's go back, cop car. That's pretty cool. Ambulance, ambawam, fire, lightning. So there's going to be tons of modes. I don't really play with that because I just kind of either use the Kelvin or I use just the color. Now, like I said, for the price, you can't beat it, and I'm definitely picking up another one. Let's check out the brightness of this light. Right now it's at its lowest setting. Let's move it on up. Let's see how bright it looks at 100%. It's getting pretty bright. My face is exposed. Just looked into the sun. I think I went blind. I mean, this little light is so powerful. Let's back it back down. You guys can see the transformation. I usually run about 27 to 32%. Now that's just the settings that I use for indoors, right? For inside my studio. Outside it's a little different. I've done IRL live streams, and honestly, I only got the light up to maybe 2-3% tops. And that was all the light I needed to make sure that I was lit up for the people watching the stream. Everybody's going to be different. Every situation is going to be different. Every camera settings, phone, whatever could be different. So if you decide to pick up this light, basically you just have to play with it to see what works best for you. Another cool thing about this light is that you can use it for background. So if I wanted to, I could actually illuminate the background of this shot. Let's say something like this. I'll just set it up on top of the computer for now. And we just created a pink light behind me right there. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, you've got broad spectrum. You can do green, you can do blue, but I think that's pretty cool, especially for like photography. If you're doing like, you know, still shots, you could have a couple of these for the price that these cost, which is just ridiculous, and have a full-blown lighting setup. Let's talk price. I mean, right now, this is absolutely insanely ridiculous. It's 27% off. It's $17.69. Like I said, I've got a link in the description below. You can click that. It will take you right to the page. You can go purchase it that way if that's something you want to entertain. And I won't get a Ferrari, but I do get a small commission. That is super cheap. You can find other companies that make a light that's similar, like Ulanzi, for example, and Ulanzi makes really high quality products. I'm not biased to one or the other. I just so happen to have the Neewer light because that's what was sent to me by Mr. Pap. Again, thank you for that, sir. However, I'm sure that the Ulanzi light is probably just as good. I'm not sure if this is just a one cap diffuser here, so I don't know enough about this particular light to speak on it. I just know that I like the Neewer light that I own, to the point that I would definitely consider purchasing more of these. A lot more of these, actually. I'm sure I could find a use for them. And speaking of use, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, the only thing that I ask for in exchange is to pop a thumbs up, maybe drop a comment, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Speaking of comments, thank you guys. Some of you guys saw the video that I did of the SM7B in combination with the Rodecaster Pro 2, and one gentleman said that my preamp was way too high, and that's why I was having issues with the threshold. You were absolutely right. Thank you for your suggestion. I fixed it, and it sounds so much better. Another person told me that I had phantom power running on my SM7B, and that I shouldn't. I had no idea. Listen, I'm old school. I come from analog, which I know that mic's analog, but however, what I mean by that is that every mic I've ever owned this XLR is phantom power, so I just assumed, which is what's so cool about YouTube, which is what's so cool about people interacting, is that I don't claim to be perfect. I don't claim to know it all. As a matter of fact, I don't know jack. So I'm always excited to get input. I'm always excited to hear feedback. I'm always excited to learn from you guys, just as much as maybe somebody out there is to learn from what I'm offering. So thank you guys for everything. I will see you next time. You guys take care, and see ya.